I mean, I think it's been a tricky process for investors to try and deal with over the past couple of years. But particularly, I think in the last couple of weeks, we've started to see slightly more positive signals. And what I mean by that is signs that the risk of no deal may be reducing. I would say I do actually agree that the likelihood that you get an extension is relatively high. I'd probably give the likelihood that May's deal passes at about 30%. So not super high, but we're in quite a volatile period. And so the ways in which this could play out now, if she doesn't pass this initial deal, is that you will see then, I think, an extension of this Article 50 period and huge question marks around how Parliament then deals with the Brexit deal and how to move forward, whether that be through, I think, potentially surprising means, including a second referendum or even a general election.
Yeah, let's talk about the dynamics then, because it appears as though Mrs May has tried and tried again to get this through Parliament. We know that her own party is particularly divided. We know that the opposition side of politics hasn't been helpful either. Even some of her coalition partners have stood in the way of this deal being able to pass through Parliament as well. So I think we really do have to talk about the fact that we could see a second referendum or, in fact, a general election. How high do you put the odds at one of those scenarios transpiring?
I mean, I think we've got to be talking about a second referendum around 20%. And similar for a general election, just because in these kind of really febrile environment, as you said, both of the major parties are deeply divided on this Brexit issue. And I think all that we've discovered in the last couple of weeks is that there's powerful, on both sides, powerful arguments for and against within each party. And I think in that kind of environment, you have to say, what is a circuit breaker if you can't move forward? And I think a second referendum or a general election both should be given about a 20% chance.
Okay. Question, what's your view on the European position, the European Union, that they need to be firm in order to be seen as a deterrent for other countries who might want to consider a Brexit-like scenario? That the European Union needs to be true to the word and saying, look, we have a deadline. If they don't reach a deadline, then it's a hard Brexit. Because always muddling through or pushing the can further down the road is maybe not the right long-term strategy. What's your view on this sort of line of thinking?
So I think it's very clear that the European Union doesn't want to just extend and pretend, so to speak. However, there is a clear dedication to solving issues like the Irish border, preventing no deal, and extension would provide that. The crucial question you have to ask is, what is the environment in which that extension is taking place? Is it an extension for a couple of weeks to pass the legislation because May has managed to pass it through? I think that's possible. However, if it's a question of she's not managed to get this deal through and there's genuine political change happening in the UK, my understanding is that on the Brussels side, the intention is essentially willingness to extend Article 50, so long as that extension is going to bring something different. They don't want to just extend and have the same argument with May for the next 6 months that they've had for the past 2 years.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.